Hi everybody, my name is Justin Stoney and I'm the founder of New York Vocal Coaching here in New York City. Welcome to episode 59 of Voice Lessons to the World, the show where we want to help you guys as singers by answering your questions from all over, and I'll give you a chance to ask questions later, but our question for this week comes from Hannah M. in Hayden, Idaho, and Hannah writes, "Dear Justin, can you help me find some great musical theater audition songs?" Yes, Hannah, yes, I think I can, because so many of our singers and actors here in New York are Broadway performers or aspiring Broadway musical theater actors, singers, and dancers. So we know the importance of having great audition material. Actually, sometimes how you present yourself can be even more important than talent itself. You need to have the right audition songs to present yourself well at musical theater auditions. It's one of the keys to being a successful Broadway performer. So first, I see this mistake a lot. People having books that look something like this for their Broadway auditions instead of something that looks like this for their Broadway auditions. Now, if you're an actor and you go to an audition and you see another actor that has this kind of songbook, don't let that intimidate you. This is actually not such a great idea, even though you might think, oh boy, I don't have that many songs. Maybe I don't have what it takes. No, actually, this is not a wise strategy. You don't want to have hundreds of songs that you're singing for auditions. That's not sustainable, nor can those songs actually be all at audition level. Really, it's about having quality and not quantity. So a smaller, more warhorse, ferocious kind of book, this is what we're looking for auditions. So now, what should be in this book? Today's Broadway world is extremely diverse. You've got basically three categories: traditional musical theater, contemporary musical theater, and pop and rock musicals. Traditional would be more of the older stuff. Contemporary musical theater is the newer, and pop and rock is musicals that are using pop and rock songs to drive the story. So, for your audition book, we want to represent those categories well. You're going to need a ballad and an up-tempo in each of those three categories. A ballad is a slower song that's usually more sung, more emotional, and perhaps more intimate, whereas an up-tempo is faster, it has more personality, more life, and sometimes more comedy to it. So, if you have a ballad and an up-tempo in all three of those categories, traditional, contemporary, and pop rock, that's 6 songs. It's not that many. But if these are great songs, that's going to cover you for probably about 90% of auditions. Then from there, if you want to throw in a jazz or a country song, maybe a song from another style that you're very good at, that can be a good idea. You might want a comedy song that is particularly funny or quirky or different, just to spice things up on the comedy side. You might want to find a song that is a perfect role for you. If there's a dream role or a part that you just think you're perfect for, maybe have a song from that show just in case. Another thing is if there's a song that means a lot to you, that's very personal to you, that's another thing that you might want to include in your audition book. But then we're talking about 6 to perhaps 12 songs. Again, that's not that many songs, but if all of them are excellent songs, you're going to be covered for every one of your auditions. The Broadway singers that I have who are having a lot of success always are doing it that way. They're bringing in the same material every single time because they know it works. It's a mistake, even though it seems wise, to try to suit your audition song to the audition that you're doing. In other words, I see actors all the time scrambling to find the right audition song for their upcoming audition. This is not a good idea. Even if you do find the perfect song, you haven't worked on it for that long, it's not in your body, it's not in your voice, and you've got this energy of scrambling to get the right thing, versus saying, these are the songs that I do. let the casting team bend to you a little bit. Bring in what you do it very well, and then let them say, let's try this other song on for size. Let them call you back. Put a little bit more of the pressure on them so that it's not always on you to be trying to suit the needs of everybody that you're performing for. It's a much more confident energy, and it tends to help people get many more parts and a lot more success taking that approach, finding what you do and sticking to it. So now, how do we find the exact right songs that are going to suit those categories that I talked about? Let's come up with some ideas. First of all, we want to be aware of your age and your type. You don't want the songs in your book to be too old or too young. You also want to be aware of what's your type. Are you a leading man? Are you an ingenue? You don't need to stick too strictly to them. You might be, for example, a character leading man. That's an acceptable type. So you can bend it a little bit, but you don't want to be way off as far as the type of character that you're portraying in the songs that you do. The other thing is, don't do songs that are too overdone. We might love songs that are from shows like Wicked or Les Mis or Phantom of the Opera, but these songs have been played out so many times, they're not really good audition songs. It looks a little amateurish to bring in something that is so well known. On the other hand, you don't want to pick something too obscure. A lot of times actors think that they found some rare and obscure gem of a song that nobody has and nobody's heard of it before. Actually, if nobody's heard it before and it's very obscure, there might actually be a reason for that. It might actually not be so great, all right? So actually, if you bring in a song that's too weird, the casting team is thinking, what the heck is this song? And they're not thinking about you and about your performance. So try to pick something that's not too overdone, but also not too off the beaten path. Also, your pop and rock songs that you pick for your book, they need to really be pop and rock songs. Broadway world doesn't love it when they say bring a pop song and you bring something from a poppy musical. No, you want to bring something from the radio, a pop or rock song that you might hear on the radio from a real pop and rock artist. Broadway is doing a lot of real rock artists these days, so you don't want to sing a Broadway sound with a little rock. You want to sing something that's actually a rock song. Next, you want to make sure that you're not trying to impress anybody with the things that are in this book, right? It seems like an audition is the time to shine, the time to impress. But this is another huge mistake that actors make in their auditions. I promise you, they're not going to be impressed. Casting directors make it their job to not be impressed. They've seen it all, from the worst to the best, and they're just trying to cast the show. They're not trying to be impressed with you, so don't try to impress them. That means don't sing too high for no reason. Don't sing too loud for no reason. You don't need to be belting it out, and you don't need to prove anything to anybody. You're not trying to impress. You are enough. If you come in with material that you love, that says something about you, and that you say it truthfully, and it shows off your voice pretty well, that is a great audition. Because now we get to know you, and we can decide, are you right for this show or not? So don't try to impress with your material. Find stuff that really reflects who you are and also what you have to say. One more note on this material. Know that the Broadway world will sometimes say, we would like a head voice, we would like a mix, or we would like a belt. Now, we've talked about these things on the show, right? About different registers of your voice. So when you're a female especially, you're going to need songs that are in your head voice and then also songs that are in your belt and mix. Make sure that you've got all your registers covered in the songs that you choose. So, one more thing is, what is a 16 bar? Because many auditions will call for a 16 bar. Well, a 16 bar cut means 16 measures, right? So for the songs that you choose for your book, you're going to need the full song, but you're also going to need a 16 bar cut. Now, 16 bars is really not that long. It's usually about 30 seconds. And most of the time you do want it to be exactly 16 measures long. But let's say it's a double time song, it's doubly fast, then it could be 32 bars, but we want it to be around 30 seconds. It's more of a feel. But it's real, this is how long you have in auditions many times, sometimes 30 seconds, and actually these days they're even doing 8-bar cuts, which means you might have 15 or 20 seconds in the audition room to show what you do. So how do you find the 16 bar? Usually it's going to be the last 16 of the song, but it could also be any 16 bar within the song, just as long as it has a clear start and end and tells a little bit of a message and has a note that you want to display, perhaps one of your high notes. That's what a 16 bar is all about, is getting you in and out, showing something clear very quickly. So identify the best 16 bars of your song, the best 16 measures, and make sure you have that marked for your audition book. And then one last note, you guys know me, I love the voice. I love to help you guys as singers, but really, I want you to know, your Broadway auditions are not all about the singing. I wish that they were as a voice teacher. I wish that we could all just sit back and say, wow, that was the best voice we heard all day. Let's cast that person. But it's really not about the voice. You need to know with what music that you pick and then also the auditions that you do that you need to act first, sing second. Make sure that the acting value, what you're saying, why you're saying it, and are you very clear on the story that you're telling? Make sure that that's the first priority and let the voice follow. I promise that it will. But if you're worried about how you sound or picking songs where you try to sound great, that's really not the right focus for your auditions. So Hannah and everybody, I hope that that gives you a good path for developing a fierce warhorse Broadway audition book. And I hope that all of this has been helpful for you guys today as singers. If you've got questions that you'd like to see us answer on the show, you can send an email to questions@voicelessonstotheworld.com. And we just encourage you, don't lose the joy. Don't lose the passion. Don't let anybody tell you you can't sing. You and I both know it's not true. Don't let them tell you that you can't audition for Broadway or for musical theater. Go after it and find the greatest material for your book so that you can really shine in auditions. If you guys are in New York City and you'd like to study with one of our staff, you can visit us at www.newyorkvocalcoaching.com. And if you like these videos, I do encourage you to download our free app. It's for iPhone, iPad, hopefully more in the future. And if you like these videos, you can also visit www.voicelessonstotheworld.com. I'm Justin Stoney. We'll see you next time.